Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down.
Get down to me. What a fantastic audience.
Get down with the sit. Down like a clown, Charlie. So we're starting the episode.
Oh, that's how it goes, man. Fucking love it.
Oh, it's nice being back in the room with you gentlemen.
I know.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are recording, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
They demanded it, and now they're getting it.
Giggity goo.
Oh, Quagmire.
Welcome to MUBRS.
MUBRS.
Well, it's the first time it's all at the same time.
Hell
In a
yeah.
long time.
Hey, check out that latency.
Check that out.
I know.
It still blows my mind how fucking off everybody was with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would just be off by like a half second.
And that's
Yeah.
all it took.
Yep.
Anytime going into edit, it was like, oh my fucking God. Oh no mute button. Shit.
Don't worry, it's all separate tracks, so we can mute you later.
Oh no, you can cut that in.
You cut it
Cut
in.
it in.
Cut it in.
Cut it in.
Oh,
All right, so tonight is the very beginning of our series where we're going to look at retro consoles.
What did you want to name this, Joe?
Retrospective.
Retrospective.
I see what you did.
Clever.
That's good.
Clever girl.
Clever.
Welcome to Retrospective.
Retro.
So,
Stupid.
basically, we are going to go down the list of consoles that mean something to us because we're not starting from Atari at the beginning.
I'm down to do an Atari episode later.
We'll just say there are
Yeah.
several consoles that we may not be interested to do. Don't be offended by them, because
Yeah, if there's an,
I'm
if
gonna
there's
call
an
it
outcry from
Jaguar?
our fans, yeah.
I don't have any.
Gonna be
Sega
tough.
Saturn, like we're not, you know.
Jaguar X32. I would like to do Sega CD. Thank you. I actually had one of those. Oh, before we get too far, we have a very important thing to talk about, which is our sponsor, Deep Creek Glassworks. For the past 8 years, Deep Creek Glassworks has been making handcrafted, durable pieces of art for everyone to enjoy. I know all of us have had some personal pieces, mainly beer glasses, and we had some of the ornaments and whatnot. Tanner finally has his new shop, like pretty much up and running after the move, so he's got a new space. I have yet to see that, but yeah, I believe that Etsy is back up and running with some new things. They're going to have some shows locally in the area. So definitely make sure to go check them out at Deep Creek Glassworks. That's WORX.com. Check them out on Instagram, Etsy. They'll have their listings and whatnot. And for our listeners, you can get 10% off of your first purchase by using the code word SUPERFUN. And then anything you order is shipped in crush-resistant boxes and free shipping. Because who doesn't like stuff for free? Am I right?
you are right.
Very
Okay.
true.
Okay.
Very true.
Beautiful. And so yeah, go check them out. Deep Creek Glassworks, WORX.com, and social medias. And if you haven't noticed with how we're having, we're back together, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah,
Fucking doing it live.
back in the same room.
It's only been like 16 fucking months,
Oh yeah.
if not.
I think the last thing we recorded together was Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
probably.
wow.
Probably.
To give our audience a perspective.
It's been a
you,
while.
you could probably tell.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, our retro series.
You guys smell worse than I remember.
Oh fuck, that's bad. I just showered too. Oh, he's not wrong. Oh, I actually did forget deodorant. This should get good.
Smell is a great podcast medium.
Now in Smell-O-Vision.
Smell-O-Vision.
Smell it.
Every time you bring up that old timey voice, Steve, I get fucking like PTSD from fucking Destroy All Humans.
Oh, really?
Dude, every
God, let's
time.
not talk about Destroy All Humans. We won't have to talk about that for a while.
Ever again. No. Fucking blocked it out. I fucking forgot we played it until you just said it.
Oh, there you go. Don't worry, the next one's coming out soon. Well,
Oh, God.
just kidding. I don't even know.
Oh,
I'd just like to torture you.
I need a couple good games to play for a minute. So I guess just for the listeners out there, kind of a rough breakdown of how we're going to do these episodes.
It's rough.
We're just going to generally talk about the console in itself, and then we're going to kind of touch on kind of what the staples or iconic games for that generation, or I'm sorry, console rather. Then we're going to talk about some honorable mentions, which may or may not be good games, but kind of stand out in our memory, and then we're going to kind of go down our top 5 favorite list.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Dig it, motherfuckers.
So I'll start us off with some bullet points and information about the console that I found.
Would love the bullet pounds.
I'm a big fan of the bullet pounds.
Bullet pounds.
Bullet pounds.
Oh, I have bullet pounds.
So that's going to be the segment name.
Bullet pounds.
So let's get to some bullet prompts. It sounds like it was just like talking prompts and bullet points, just bullet prompts. Bullet prompts.
Yes.
Okay. So the SNES.
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 You like SNES?
So it was released in 1990 in Japan and 91 in North America, and ceased production in 1999 for North America. The Japanese version, the Super Famicom, was actually produced until 2003.
Really?
Which,
Holy crap.
for a reference, was 2 years after GameCube started production.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. GameCube, not 64. So 2 years after GameCube started.
You said that was the Japanese production of it?
Yeah.
That makes sense. This console was a juggernaut in Japan.
Oh,
yeah.
This is like the baseline for any system.
So
in
to
Japan.
be fair, the North American one was still like the year before the GameCube came out. Was when it stopped production. So it was still like a huge life cycle as far as that goes.
Oh, yeah.
So the console had 16-bit design with 32,000 colors and 8-channel audio, which was huge for its time. As far as the sales numbers go, 49.1 million consoles were sold worldwide, 23.3 million of those being in the U.S. alone.
Damn. Numbers.
Did you say 32,000 colors?
Yes.
Is that holy shit? Really?
32-bit.
I did some really like nerd digging into this console to figure out like how they did a lot of stuff. I'm not going to get into the episode.
It was like dotted, right? So if you put 2 dots next to each other of different
That's
colors,
generally how console or how
because it
colors-
was still on the like tube TVs, they were kind of.
I mean, that's how color is made today anyway.
Oh.
Like even in printed media, like if you take a magnifying glass to a magazine, you can see all the individual colors printed next to each
I
other.
actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
They only print with 3 colors, or I'm sorry,
Oh,
some
that-
do
that
7
makes
now.
sense.
But yeah, at any rate, so 1,757 games were officially released for the console. 717 of those being in North America. And that's pretty much all the kind of high-level bullet points I had for the console itself.
I'll pop a top to that.
Some pretty heavy-hitting numbers for a console of its day, where it was still in the area or realm of like video games are bad for kids and
Yeah.
all of that jazz.
I always credit the Super Nintendo for the bloom of video games as a wholesome medium again. I know there was, the original Nintendo that was out, but I really think after there was like that weird dark age of video games, like where almost everyone in the industry went bankrupt. Having the Super Nintendo come out and just be a tour de force of consoles, really, like, and just kind of redefining what home video game systems could be in general.
Yeah.
I think it's just an absolute like masterclass in gaming, and like it was my first console. I don't know about you guys, but like it was my first.
Yeah, technically, we had a Nintendo, but that was like my mom's, and like my dad would play Super Mario Brothers, but my mom was all about like Millipede and other ones. I mean, I still have that same Nintendo, of course, with the yellow staining, because that's,
Of course, yeah.
that's cigarettes. That's how it is when you
cigarettes.
No, the plastic degraded.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Mom, don't use it as an ashtray.
I still had that thing hooked up, but at going from that and actually wanting a console like for myself, this was technically my first console. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo was my second console, my family's third. Because we actually did have a Jaguar, but we traded in to get the Nintendo, and then we actually traded in our Nintendo to get the Super Nintendo.
Oh.
I was actually exposed to Atari a lot before Super Nintendo. My mom had an Atari. I think she worked at some kind of toy store, and she ended up spending a lot of her paychecks on Atari games at some point. So, Joe, I don't know if you remember, I had this huge box full of Super Nintendo cartridges as a kid.
I remember.
Yeah.
My mom had something very similar with Atari. Just like 50-some Atari games in a box. Just
Wow.
digging through all the cartridges all the time. But this was the first system that I owned. And I really remember that Christmas that we got the Super Nintendo. And
Was this the one where you couldn't hook it up to the TV?
No, that was the Nintendo 64. No, we got the Super Nintendo.
Where Harry cried like a little bitch. You little bitch, you can't play Nintendo 64.
I just want to play Pilot Wing 64.
I really want to play Star Fox, Mom.
God, Star Fox is awesome. But
when you could finally play it.
Fucking blue balled an 8-year-old. Goddamn.
no, I remember. Yeah,
It's not the only time.
I matured early.
I was going to make a terrible joke and say it's not the first time your mom did that.
Yikes! Yikes! Applause.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Get some applause on that one. Yeah.
Stupid. Fucking stupid. Just kind of looking back though, so that was like the console that kind of introduced me to video games like on a different level than Atari, because Atari was just like when I went to my grandparents or up at the cabin or something.
You got
like
personally invested.
Yes. My mom quite often refers to that as one of the biggest mistakes she ever made.
It wasn't me.
I'm not number one, Mom?
No, it's your console, then you.
No, I just kind of remember overhearing it like parties or social events like after that. Like I hear somebody asking like, oh, I heard you got your kids like a Super Nintendo. My mom just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Too bad.
It'll rot his brain.
But yes, no, very, very fond memories of the Super Nintendo. I'm really excited to talk about this tonight.
Yeah.
Dope.
Any specific memories about the console?
I have several, but I'm waiting to get into them.
Okay. Game specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of those are going to be game specific.
Okay.
One thing I remember was my cousin got a Sega, a Genesis, and I had the Super Nintendo, and he was always just like, man, there's nothing to play on my Genesis, and I was just like, I fucking love my Super Nintendo. I was like, I remember a lot, like when I'd be over at his house, we would like play Genesis for like an hour and just kind of be done. I don't know if he didn't have like the best games or, you know, like whatever it was, but like we could sit down at my place and just play a plethora of games and just, you know, had different experiences.
Oh, yeah.
There's night and day differences between the Genesis and the Super Nintendo at this time.
Even for the same game.
Yeah.
Oh, even for the same
yeah.
game. Yeah. Like, we'll get to that because I want to talk about Mortal Kombat at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always something that stood out to me of just like, okay, this round, it kind of, to me, felt like Super Nintendo was superior to Genesis. And I know that's like kind of a bold statement because there's a lot of like hype for both of those consoles, and that's like a classic console war.
Well, yeah.
No, that's a pretty true statement, though. The hardware and like game design was definitely superior on the Super Nintendo. There's a lot of like flaws in a lot of the Sega game equivalents.
Yeah, I would say
Yes.
that was probably one of the first like head-to-head console battles was like Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis.
100%.
At least to that level anyway.
I don't think there's ever been one as epic as that.
Never.
That pairing.
Nope, that was the last one ever for the rest of the time.
I was gonna say the current like PlayStation versus Xbox debates, or like the 360 era, like that was pretty big.
Oh, well, yeah. Definitely.
I think there's just more gamers now, and it's more vocal, and social media and stuff like that. It's a little more hype.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely more prevalent.
Honestly, that always has kind of annoyed me, though. Just
The
like,
console war stuff.
yeah, and it's a
not.
validation for that individual so that they don't feel bad on their decision making. That's all it really is.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it comes down to it, it's just like, just play what you like. It's
Yeah,
like, you
or
like
just
one better than
fucking
the other.
get
Cool,
all
that's
of them.
fine. Yeah, yeah.
Quit being a bitch about it.
Like, quit being a cheap bitch.
Quite honestly, like as somebody who does PC gaming, I haven't felt the need to get an Xbox because anything that you can play on an Xbox, you can pretty much play on a PC now.
Yeah.
With the way Microsoft does their exclusives.
Right.
So for me, it's always been, from a consumer standpoint, it's PlayStation stuff. But I'm getting off topic. We can.
No, it's all good.
But
I would say,
like what you were saying, like this was like the first console war. Like this is like I remember the commercials. Sega does what Nintendo or when what was it?
Nintendo.
When Nintendo don't. Yeah. Like they were going at each other, and I think it made both systems better in general. But I'm standing there holding the hand up for Super Nintendo.
yeah, I would say if we're talking memories on things, at least this is like the pivotal console that threw me into video games. And not only that, because at the time, they had a lot of games that you could play with other people, which definitely helped fuel that. Because I remember being like 5 or 6 years old, and at the apartment complex I lived in, the parents would get together to play cards like every Friday, Saturday night, and whatnot. And we would go over to my friend Stephanie's house. And so while the, parents are drinking and, playing cards, we're just like right down, like sitting in front of that Super Nintendo, whether it be playing like Super Mario World or Sunset Riders or, Street Fighter, Turtles, and like go down the list of it. But that's the one that I think really kind of like stands out when I think of this console. I just think of the amount of time that like her and I spent sitting and playing it. And now even to this day, I don't know if she still has the Super Nintendo, but whenever we hang out, it's like, you want a Mario Kart? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's Mario Kart.
Cool. Cool.
So do we want to move into like the games that defined this console?
No.
All right. Well, it was fun, guys. Good seeing you. Tune in next week.
Right, yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
I mean, do we want to? So, in my opinion, we should do our top ones and then get to those, because I feel like some of those top ones are going to be our top games.
So you think we should do lists, then talk about
any outliers that were
subjective
like,
stuff? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Well,
that's fine.
Maybe do honorable mentions first as kind of like a lead up to our top 5.
I'm cool with
Like-
that.
like-
And if there's some like crossover,
Like participation rewards first, and
Yeah.
then you announce.
and then honestly, if there is like crossovers and whatnot, then that's all right.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
don't-
yeah. Well, it'll be an active discussion, but I think, in my opinion, I think both either through the honorable mentions or our top 5 games, we're going to hit most of the games that are going to define the generation.
Yeah,
That might, yeah.
Actually, I kind of think we should do lists first, and
Yeah.
then do honorable mentions, and then talk about just the game defining things. Because if you look at it like that, we're leading up to what defined this. Our favorites things that we think should be recognized as console games, and then these are the ones that are just undeniable standouts.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
So we'll get more personal. We'll get personal first, then go towards more the classics.
Keep it a little broad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, broad?
Sup, broad? You's a sexy bitch.
So do we want to go around and do like our tops and then do our seconds, or do we want to have go one person at a time?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, why don't we do like all our 5s and then
All our 4s?
all
Okay.
4s, 3s, and then
we can be like, oh, give me a bit. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can dig that. All right, Joe, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is actually Sunset Riders.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's on my
Nice.
list too,
And-
but it's not number 5.
It's probably because I didn't replay it and review it with you guys. If I'm going to be 100%
that's
honest.
fair.
It did not make my top 5.
Oh, by the way, a lot of the games that we're talking tonight, I spent an insane amount of time with Joe as a kid playing these games.
That's totally
Yeah.
fair. That's totally
Yeah,
fair. There's one game that I'm curious that's on my top 5 that I think's going to be on yours too, Harry.
Okay. I'm excited. This is cool.
I mean, I think there'll be some overlap, but this is like a very obscure game.
Oh, I have. I'm going to top you with the obscure game.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
right,
Steve, what's your number 5?
My number 5, Turtles in Time.
I knew some turtles were going to come up tonight.
solid.
That's on
choice.
mine. That's on mine.
Yeah, that
We'll
is
get
that
to
is
it.
one where it's again like a lot of these games are stuff that I spent a lot of time playing with Steph or her dad because he was like full in and he was one of those guys like I need to have like almost every game, and so definitely got to play a lot of different games,
Nice.
which some will show in here.
Harry?
Cool. Joe, number 5. Virtual Bart.
Oh, God. I forgot that was a fucking game.
I forgot about. Isn't that where they had him on the wheel and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Whoa!"
And then you have all
Yeah.
these little mini games.
Yeah.
And the tomato toss was my fucking jam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Getting it to the building was
Yeah.
so key.
I remember like
The
Trapeze
school.
Maggie. Like when she was like going along the curtain and you have to like flip and avoid the oh shit.
And then like Seymour's in the back shaking his ass because he's like picking up something on the ground or something.
that's right.
Oh, you gotta get him. I gotta
Yeah.
beat him.
Oh wow, I forgot about that game.
that's a
we
good
used to play
game.
the shit
And
out
then
of
if you
that.
accidentally hit Willie, he'll end the round for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Willie's the one that comes over and
I
ends
think
the round.
I think it's the adults. If you hit the adults, that ends it. You got to eliminate all the kids.
Yeah.
That's a great game.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for nostalgia tonight.
That's my
Yes.
number 5.
Yeah.
I have it on my list of honorable mentions.
Nice,
so
nice.
as long as it is mentioned here, I can kind of move that off.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5 is Cool Spot.
Nice. I knew somebody was going to drop that tonight.
Yes.
Nice.
God, there's so many games that I didn't even think about.
It's a
when
No, I
game.
know.
About,
I went through
it's
that
a game
entire
about
list like
this-
8 times.
all 1,700 games.
That link that you sent us.
That was all 1,700 games.
Was it? Well, I kept flipping through it.
For anyone unfamiliar with that, it's literally a platformer that has Spot from the 7-Up game or from the 7-Up can.
Nobody
Like,
even
from-
knows what that
from
is
all
anymore.
the fucking commercials from when
7-Up?
we were kids. But like
Shitty Sprite, guys.
it was an amazing platformer. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking like I personally thought it rivaled like the better Marios on that on that system. Like it was just an incredible game.
Yeah.
Super fun. It was absolutely amazing.
Fucking right.
That's cool. I kind of remember some of the levels.
Yeah.
I specifically remember the beach level. in
Yes,
that.
the beach level was so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you go up through like the broken down ships
Yup.
and stuff.
Yup.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of remember like the old fold up chairs that were sitting. You got to climb up the legs, and
Yeah.
there was like little mice and wood
Dogs.
holes.
There were dogs that were an enemy in that. They would try to kill Cool Spot.
weird game.
Yeah.
Weird game, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like played a ton of it.
Oh my god, I forgot about. Speaking of like weird platformers, I forgot about a fucking weird game that I own.
Okay.
Come back to it later, though.
Yeah.
Get to it in the
yeah,
honorable
yeah,
mentions.
we'll-
It's not
yeah.
on your list.
So that was your number 5?
That was my number 5.
Cool.
What's your number 4, Harry?
Oh,
We'll
Yeah,
go.
flip
well,
around.
oh, we're
yeah,
bouncing.
switching it around.
We're bouncing.
I dig it.
Number 4 was Sunset Riders.
All right.
Fair enough.
I love that game.
We
It's
have a
so
whole.
good.
The reason that we're not talking about that game much is we have a whole episode where we all just gush about it.
I
so.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have to go over
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
it's not even on one of my top lists, but that still holds that's a near and dear place to my heart either way.
that. Good, Steve.
Right.
Number 4.
Number 4. Talk about obscure, but I sunk a lot of time into this. Shaq Fu.
Dude, that is okay. That's on my list. I fucking love that game.
Yes!
I
Fucking ridiculous.
fucking love that game. I used to play that with my uncle, and I would just whoop on him.
Oh, yeah.
And then I swear, he went back to Chicago, bought a Super Nintendo, bought Shaq Fu, and I remember
I was like, why can't we play online?
he came home the one Christmas, and it was just a masterclass in me getting my ass whooped.
Oh, yeah.
He
He's like,
just
I'm not
beat
gonna
the
let
sh-
this
oh,
kid
yeah.
fucking show me anything.
He's like this little motherfucker.
Yeah, I always remember my go-to character was Memphis, the mummy dude.
Yes, my favorite as well. It's perfect. Yes.
I'm so
Shaq
glad that's
Fu
on
was
someone else's list.
Shaq Fu was incredible. It's not on my top 5. It was on my honorable mentions though, because
Hey,
that
that's-
game is just.
That's fine.
Oh, man, you know they made a sequel, right?
What?
It's out on Switch.
What?
Yep. I've been really debating picking it up. I've been waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah.
But when I do, you want to come over and play?
Fucking right I do.
Hell yeah. All right,
Jesus.
cool. Oh my god, Shaq Fu.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what a Shaq Fu is.
It has Shaq in it.
So,
Like the basketball
Is it a
player.
basketball game?
No, it's a fighter.
it's a
fighter
fighter.
like
Okay.
Street, yeah. Yeah, it's a fighting game like Street Fighter.
it's like these obscure type of characters and whatnot, and then there's Shaq, and Shaq just somehow gets sent to this other land, and all of a
Fucking
sudden
moneymaker.
he's in a fighting competition, and Shaq Fu. But the way it's done, it's actually a pretty good fucking game.
Yeah, like the actual fighting mechanics in it are really good. It's a very fair, balanced fighter. And I think the best part of it is just I remember when the game came out and everyone was talking about I think it was right after I think Shaq got his black belt or something like that, and it was out in the news that he was practicing martial arts and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's boom, Shaq Fu on Super Nintendo. Go get that shit.
Putting out a
And I
game.
got that shit. I saw it and was just I was like, well, I really liked Space Jam. I was like, I'll pick this game up. Totally different.
Oh, that's relevant
Amazing.
right now too.
Absolutely amazing.
I had the Shaq shoes because I was a poor fucking kid. So you go to Kmart or
Oh, I
Walmart, you
couldn't-
get the
ooh.
Shaqs.
Those were above. I had the cream of Abdul-Jabbar's.
Yeah. Skyhook. All right. Clark, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Good.
There we go.
Call.
Did
Yeah.
you do your number 4?
No,
Not
we
yet.
started
We're
jumping
just
now.
kinda
We're just jumping around.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember playing with my neighbor Steve, and he would just constantly he would just be like, "Hey, can I come over?" His parents wouldn't let him play games at all.
Oh.
We would in secret play Double Dragon off of a floppy disk at his house on a PC, and
Wow.
when his parent would come in, we would have to quick shut off the monitor and pick up Bibles because his parent his dad was the preacher at the church near
poor
us,
Steve.
and we would sit play Double Dragon at his house with Bibles on our fucking laps.
Wow.
Did
Yeah.
he believe that? I just
Yeah,
feel
right.
like that is a very basic hideaway.
In my Lord and Savior, Super Double Dragon.
I
Billy?
mean, you're a preacher's son. You're expected to be kind of like that. And
I had a friend in elementary school. His name was John. His dad was the minister, and they had video games, but it was very Christian video games. It was how many sheep can you help John corral into the thing? It's oh, wow, this
yeah,
is bad.
yeah.
The Lord loves you.
Yeah.
Follow the Lord. No. But yeah, he would come over and we would just play Legend of Zelda, and I let him completely beat the game on one of my saves. I kept a save for him. That game just has so much nostalgia to me, and running in, dropping that bomb the first time to break down the one wall to get the ice scepter in that game was something that happened completely organically, because this was really before you could go on the internet and look up a walkthrough or anything like that.
Premium official guys were for rich people.
Yes, it was such an amazing feeling to just discover something like that in the wild, because Because for a while, we were just aimlessly wandering around because that game doesn't really have any direction
No.
to it right off the bat.
Yo.
It's kind of like go explore and like you'll
Stumble upon
eventually
shit.
you'll get to the story of it. Like eventually, you just have to catch the trail of it eventually.
Yeah,
and,
go to the swamp. Where the fuck is the swamp? I don't know. Keep walking around,
Yeah,
bitch.
they're like, bring up a map. You bring up a map. Everything's surrounded in clouds except for where you're at. I'm like, okay.
All right.
Yeah, that game, though, just is
Fucking
a
right.
defining staple for me.
Yeah.
Did you check out A Link Between Worlds yet?
I have not. Oh, wait, the one that they did for Switch?
Well, they had it on 3DS first.
Yes, I have it. I watched my ex at the time play through a bunch of it, and I never actually picked it up myself. I was letting
you need to.
I was letting Odin play through it though, because he just likes like running around like killing stuff with the sword,
Right.
and I was like, oh yeah, sure.
Hey, me too, bud.
Yeah, me too, buddy. So yeah, it's it's definitely like I have like a queue of games that I need to get through that are like predominantly single player, and like that's definitely on there.
Gotcha. Joe, number 4.
FIFA 97.
Oh. Wow. I was waiting for the first sports game to come up.
Do you remember this game, Harry?
Look at his face.
So, I had so much fun with this game though. Like honestly, because like it was like a really terrible time for me because I broke my leg that summer, and Harry actually bought me this game.
Oh.
Because like I couldn't move. I broke my leg, and I needed
Just
surgery.
to clarify, I don't feel like just saying you broke your leg is enough. You
Yeah.
shattered your bone that they needed to replace the bone.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one where you got the cadaver bone?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
So like I had to I shattered it, and then I had to wait for a donor.
Oh.
And like I couldn't do anything for months.
I need bones.
And then
He finally got his very own boner.
yeah.
Congratulations, Joe. You
Oh, yeah, bone donor.
Hell yeah.
I love the idea that Harry shows up to Joe's house and he's like, hey, I know you can't walk, so here's literally a game where all you're going to do is run around. You're not going to do much, but like it's illegal to use your hands. You can only use your feet. Here you go.
Here, do this thing that you can't do for months.
Suck a dick. I'm going to go play soccer outside.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, of course
wow.
you did. You were 8. You were a cynical asshole 8-year-old.
You were a real dick before you even knew it.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Here, play this game so you can just vicariously live through people that can use their fucking legs.
To be fair, you could kill people in this game.
That's all Joe did. Slide tackle, murder people.
You could.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
amazing, and the ambulance would come right on the field and take people away.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was crazy.
That's all I would do.
Oh, man.
So we're on to number 3s,
Yeah, number 3s.
Number 3s.
which is what I call diarrhea.
All right.
Not the games, just out of my belly.
Or is it 1.5?
It could. That's fair. It's just in the middle of both. It's not quite pee. It's not quite poop. It's just liquid brown.
Well, so here's the thing. If you add 1 and 2, you get 3.
Yeah.
So
See,
that's why I kind of agree. Going number 3 is probably diarrhea.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. 4 is just diarrhea and vomiting at the same time.
That's when you need a Velociraptor.
Well, it's bad
So
when
you
you're
could
throwing.
shit and puke at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it's bad when you start throwing up in the toilet and then you have to shit. It's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Sacrifice the tub.
Speaking of Velociraptor, my number 3 is Jurassic Park.
Nice segue.
Nice
segue.
Well
Harry
done.
saved the segue.
Well done. It's like
I had to jump in before it was too far gone.
that was good.
That's completely fair.
That was good.
Yeah. No, that game was a gem.
Yeah.
I fucking love that game. And I even appreciated it. Excuse you.
If you just ignore it, you can mute it later.
We can't ignore it.
Yeah, just talk through that. So anyway, I think the
What'd you think about the?
It was a mastodon.
I have the wallet. Caw.
Fucking getting loose over there.
Oh shit!
Can you tighten your knob?
Oh shit! Ah shit! Ah fuck!
What are you doing?
Ah piss! Ah piss! Piss on my shit!
There we go.
So Jurassic Park, huh?
Jurassic Park. And even for that time, so I had a little bit of everything, right? Had great music.
Yeah.
The art style is amazing, and I could appreciate it even back then.
Dude, that first person, like when you're going through the buildings and whatnot, is fucking nuts.
It is.
Because they had like the top down when you're like outside roaming around, but when you're in like the night vision, you go around the corner and there's a fucking velociraptor.
So when you think about it, it's like two games in one, because you got
Yeah.
an overhead game style, and then you got that first-person shooter game style.
Yeah, that's all my honorable mentions. It's like there was no way I could not. It's like that game was fucking awesome.
Nah, that game's great, and I beat it twice as
Oh.
well. And it's
Wow.
very anticlimactic.
I'm
ending.
sure.
It just basically cuts to credits when you get to the helipad once you've completed everything.
Huh.
It's just stupid.
Sounds like Firewatch.
Yeah, just kind of ends.
No,
abruptly.
Firewatch is good though. I like Firewatch. That ending is appropriate for that game.
Yeah.
It was just
I just want.
all right. We want to have to
we don't need
rehash
to get back
that.
into that.
But no,
Left a little bit on the table.
Jurassic
little meat on the
Park was a lot of fun. Love that game.
There you go.
Joe, what about your number 3?
My number 3 is Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, solid.
Yes.
The first one.
Yes.
Danky Kang.
Danky Kang.
Danky motherfucking Kang.
I looked at 2 and 3, but I was like, dude, nothing.
Yeah, no, that as a platformer, like it's just
They were good. It just not the first one. The first one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Just the sound. I can still just hear like some of the stages like going in my head.
Yeah.
Just pop open Diddy Kong out of the box.
Yeah, the barrels exploding was
Yeah.
like something that like sticks in my head.
Yeah.
The minecart levels were always my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
They
Yep.
were fun. They were super tough, but
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
If you like this talk and more, go visit our review of Donkey Kong Country.
It was like
Yeah.
episode 10.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
early
that was
episode.
very
Early on.
early on.
God, like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Long fucking time ago. God, we've been doing this a while.
Yep. What about you, Steve?
My number 3 is F-Zero.
Ooh.
That was probably one of the first, because I think I played that before I played Mario Kart. So that was like my first racing game. I wouldn't count Excite Bike on NES, but like to the next level. Yeah, F-Zero was it. That's where you get your Captain Falcon. And I remember there was Goose. He had the like the green and white car, and I can just hear like the power up chargers, like to get your boost up or your shields and whatnot. It's like wow 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 wow. It still kicks in my brain like so long after.
Very cool.
That's one I wouldn't mind playing a remake of. I'm sure there. I don't know if there has been one or not, but I'd be all in on that.
They have. I actually watched a YouTube video about one of the more recent ones. I think it came out on the Wii, and it was almost unplayable because of the frame rate.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was so fast, and you had to really like not be prone to seizures to play it because like
Oh,
it's
God.
just so
Oh, yeah.
many flashing lights and stuff like that. But I was like watching some gameplay of it, and they were just talking about it's one of the hardest games to actually just play.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they released one like almost every Nintendo generation.
I don't know. I may
They
have-
try to. They definitely try to.
I may have not kept up on it because Super Nintendo was the last Nintendo console that I actually owned.
Oh wow.
So it's been a long time.
Sorry
since
for your
then.
loss.
Yeah, that's all right. I just remember what was the one? Big Blue, that had a good soundtrack to it. That was one of the courses.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never really played. To be
No,
honest.
me either.
yeah. That one was a lot of fun.
Very cool. Clark?
For me, number 3 is Total Carnage.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys ever played that.
No.
I might have played it on Genesis.
Okay, so essentially, it's kind of like top-down shooter, and it was just insane. It was kind of like Demolition Man, where they're just like, okay, everyone's just gonna like go out, and you're just gonna like kill and try to get the highest score. And they kind of had like this pseudo like. It was kind of like Smash TV. I don't know if you guys ever played Smash TV as well.
I have Smash TV for NES, and I played the fuck out of Super Smash TV. I'd buy that for $1.
So it was kind of like Smash TV with like less of like the mini games, and it was more of like it was a little more Smash TV meets like Toxic Avenger. Like there were like mutants, and like there was like kind of like the Nazi kind of like Nazi zombie type thing in this game. I just remember I like would sit down again with my uncle, and like we would just like play this nonstop, and it was just like. It was my first experience with like a top-down shooter that I really like connected with.
Okay.
And I just I thought everything from press start to seeing your high score at the end, just everything was done seamlessly and completely flawlessly, and just the presentation and everything. I really, really, really enjoyed that game. All the power-ups and the guns and stuff were really cool. There were some really interesting ones. Probably one of my favorite guns. You shoot a laser up, and it comes back for however much length you got from one kill to the next kill. It would come back as a boomerang of that length back to the gun. So if you could kill somebody in a straight line across the screen, it would come back and just wipe the screen for you. It was really fucking awesome. It was like a rocket launcher type weapon, but it had a lot of very interesting stuff, and the graphics on it were really amazing, honestly. Like the pixel art and the sprites and stuff were just next level.
Cool.
I think is that everyone's number 3?
Yep.
All right.
Who wants to start off with their number 2?
I'll start.
Okay, go for it, Joe.
So my number 2 is Super Mario Kart.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
The classic.
Just to jump in, that's also my number 2.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
Great game.
Some shared the original fucking Rainbow Road. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
That was
Friendships were made and broken in Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah.
Original.
The Battle Royale fucking set it apart.
that was
As
so
100%.
awesome.
The battle mode on it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's if I was playing that game, that's what my preference was, to jump into battle mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did appreciate too that all of the racers had unique attributes that you kind of had to learn. Like Bowser, he was harder to like move around,
Slower acceleration, harder in turning, but higher top speed.
Yeah, higher top speed, and also like when you go to bump him, he like didn't fucking move, and he could just knock you out of the fucking way.
Up.
Yeah.
That's something where it wasn't like cut and dry. Like you didn't know that by selecting. You just saw a character and said, okie dokie.
Yeah,
let's go.
It took time to play to really learn every character and their attributes and all of that.
Yeah. No, that was such a good fucking game. And I mean, I could say like how original, because there wasn't like too many games out, period, or anything like that. But I mean, like the battle system with like the little balloons and trying to like smack each other out that way, it was just awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's nuts about that game? Just going back to play it now, there's no elevation changes.
Right.
It's all flat.
Yep.
It's nuts.
It's such a weird thing, because like every once in a while I'll pop that game on and like just like play it, you know, and to play like, you know, Mario Kart 8 with my son now, the differences in the games, it's crazy, but like it's still there. Like Mario Kart 8 is still Super Mario.
Yeah.
Kart, you know, like it's still that game. Like it still has that like kind of intensity to it. There's way more rubber banding and stuff, and they made it a lot more kid friendly to like the newer games and stuff like that. But that game, that core mechanics, they're all just there still.
Yeah.
That's something I've always appreciated about that as a series in general.
Pre-blue shell.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, pre-blue shell.
Green and red only.
Yeah. But yeah, absolute classic. Loved it.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you want to share your number 2?
Or... My number 2 is Desert Strike.
So,
Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar, it was pretty much like a top-down game, but from like an angle, and
More isometric.
yeah. So you flew a helicopter, and you had to do these random missions, whether it's like blow up enemy silos, pick up POWs from like the middle of the desert and whatnot. And there were just so many different variants to it. I just knew this was a game that I put a lot of time in. You had to make sure to. This was the first game that made me like regulate ammo, because you had all of your guns, but then you had like your Hydra missiles and your ballistic missiles, and you only got so many of each one. And if you use too much, you're really fucked, because there's no way you're taking down like these anti-aircraft, facilities with fucking machine guns. It's not going to happen. And I know they try to come out with like a Jungle Strike and Urban Strike afterwards, but nothing compared to Desert Strike.
I think I've had one of the other ones.
Oh, did you?
Not the Desert Strike, but
yeah,
I kind of remember like a top-down helicopter shooter game.
Yeah, Desert Strike was an absolute classic.
Yeah, it was
absolute classic.
So good, and it was one of the ones I just remember where it's like, oh, POWs, and it's just a question mark that pops up all over the map. It's like, you don't know where it's going to go, so it may be way off in fucking East Jabip, and you're just going to see a random guy running around.
It's probably accurate for being a desert.
Yeah, pretty much. And just a little guy like waving his hands. It's like, oh, I'm going to come pick you up. And you have to like try to swing and hit him with the fucking cargo ladder so he actually grabs on and pulls up, which I remember that being fucking frustrating as hell, but it's Super Nintendo. Of course it's going to be frustrating as hell.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo, super frustrating.
Yeah. Clockman, number 2.
My number 2 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time.
All right.
There we go.
That game for me is just all right, yeah. So little bit of a story here. My mom doesn't play video games. She was never really into it. She doesn't really understand them. Mm-hmm. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in Time, she would play like with me all the time, and she loved it.
Aw.
I will never forget the time that my dad brought me home from like a weekend with him, and I came into the house and my mom didn't answer the door. She had just yelled out my window, "Okay, come in." And I walked in and she's like second to last level, like about to go fight Shredder.
Oh my god.
And I couldn't believe it that she was sitting there playing this game and she's like, "Matt, I think we can do it." And I was like, I looked at the time. It's like 8:30. I'm going to school the next day, and my mom's like, "No, like here." She like presses presses the reset button real quick. We load up a game, and like we just played beat Shredder. I will never forget.
Oh, that's so cool memory.
It's like honestly the greatest memory that I have for Super Nintendo, and I had to put my nostalgia aside for my number 1.
Right.
But like that was like one of the more like pure like joyous moments playing that system for me ever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My mom couldn't play Super Nintendo. As she said, it's too many buttons. She's like, I will stick with the directional pad, A and B, and that's about it.
PlayStation, which was my next console, was that system for my mom where she was like, I just can't play games with you anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
Like it,
Yeah.
but those
Goodbye.
times, there's
Bye-bye.
there's times playing it with my mom was just like some of my best childhood memories.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just thinking about this stuff, I am so excited for this entire retro series.
Oh yeah, I honestly I got like flooded with like a wave of emotion when I was like going through like a lot of this stuff. I was trying to actually keep it back while I was talking about my mom. Please cut this, but like, yeah, like it's very
enhance. Hold.
It's very like it holds a lot of nostalgia for me.
There we go. Dig it.
Cool.
We are on number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. I need to take a number 2.
I did the first number 2, so I'm going to wait.
I don't
All
think
right.
I've started one yet, so
Go for it.
I
for it,
will
Steve.
begin. All right. My number 1, Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage.
Oh shit, the red cartridge.
The red cartridge.
Red cartridge.
That was the standout. That was the beginning of my love for Spider-Man games. And that went from there to like Spider-Man 2 for Xbox, Spider-Man PS4, fucking took me in, at least like along those ways. Side-scrolling fighting game. You can shoot webs up to the ceiling and be able to pull off these combos and whatnot. There was just something about that game that really just sucked me in. Because it was funny you talked about Double Dragon, because another game I played with Steph was Super Double Dragon. And we used to go through kind of same concept. You're just like side-scrolling and fighting game going back and forth. But this took it to the next level. And that is one that I don't think could top any other Super Nintendo game for me. That's the one that makes me so sad that I sold my Super Nintendo and like 35, 40 games at a yard sale just because I didn't know.
Dude, I did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
did the same thing.
Those 3 hard workers that came and put their money together to buy it, you know what? They enjoyed it. I'm sure that went through for a while. So at least with that, it makes it a little easier. But that's the game that makes me sad that I sold that console.
That game was hard.
It was tough.
It was a very tough game.
It was tough.
Now, question for you, Steve.
Yeah.
The first breaking point in the game when you could choose Spider-Man or Venom, which path did you go?
Venom.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Yeah.
There was no way not to. And I just remember like there was the little cut scenes where they started doing the story and they just had him hanging upside down, tongue hanging out everywhere.
Yeah,
It's like,
I remember that.
This guy's a fucking freak. I like this guy.
and that's when Steve became a god.
It was the tongue.
Yeah, it was the time.
I started listening to Kiss.
Between that and then I'm like, what is all this European music about? And then I got bondage pants for 3 years. I still have most of them to this day. But yeah. That's my number 1 right there.
That's a great number 1. That is an absolute great number 1. All right, let's let Joe close out with number 1. Harry, do you want to go share your number 1?
Sure. Does anybody want to take a guess what my number 1 is?
Zombie Ate My Neighbors.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know it. Absolutely. That
Yeah.
game is fucking amazing. I'm not going to rant too much because, again, we did a whole episode
Yes,
on
we
it.
did.
But,
Go back through the history in the archive.
With Harry's brother
God.
Shane.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
But no, that
Fun
artwork
episode.
is fucking top notch. That music, every once in a while, I put on a playlist of just the Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh,
music.
really?
That shit is fucking catchy.
Bumps.
That shit slaps.
I hate that phrase. Oh man, that game is just a fucking blast. I love it.
Cool.
So, my number 1 is Super Mario World.
There you go.
fair.
It was the pack-in game.
Yeah.
Like, it's the game that everybody had for the system. And me personally, I thought it was an absolute just crush
Oh yeah.
of an amazing game. I think it's one of the best Mario games. And truly, like, I mean, my earliest memories of gaming is always going to go back to Super Mario, because the first thing I did was I unpackaged it and this game just dropped into my lap, and I plugged it in, played it, and it was like my first real game that wasn't, something that I had to load 50 floppies onto my fucking TI-87.
Right.
Like it wasn't Oregon Trail. Like it was my first real interactive controller in hand fucking video game, and I will forever be indebted to Super Mario World for my interest in video games permanently.
Plus, you got to ride Yoshi.
Hell yeah!
Right,
Like
you're just
Yoshi
running-
was,
Wow.
yeah, like
Yeah.
World 1, 2 when you can unlock Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you get the different colored Yoshis, like the little different eggs and whatnot. Yeah. No, you can't go wrong with that one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe.
So deep cut that nobody was gonna guess. Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh God!
Oh,
that
okay.
game!
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So, kind of another karting game, if you want to call it that. Isometric racing. So, like, everybody had their power up, and you got your power ups refilled every lap and stuff like that. But you also had to, like, in between stages, you also, like, depending on how you did, you earned money to, like, fix your car, and you could also permanently die. So, like, I thought that was, like, a lot of, like, cool things that they did for, like, a really obscure game that, like, really carried on into, like, other games.
Yeah.
Just so much fun with that game.
God damn it! That game was awesome.
Yeah.
I used to always choose the same. What was the one guy that did the wheelie and just like instant kill somebody?
Vinny?
Was it Vinny?
He had a red motorcycle.
I forget. But you basically had to do like a wheelie and run over somebody with his ability to like crush him.
Yeah. They actually rebooted that.
They rebooted.
Really?
Yeah. And they have it on PlayStation 2, and I didn't know that otherwise. That I would have fucking got it.
Yeah.
I was like, doing the research for this, and I was just like, holy fuck.
Can you
How
still
did I
track
miss
it?
this?
Can you still track it down?
I'm going to try.
Yeah. Do you still have a working PS2?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I have a PS2 Slim.
was going to say, worst comes to worst, I still have one out there, and I think I may have one or two Slims in the basement. Don't ask me
You
how.
literally gave me a PlayStation 2, like, so I can play
I think
games.
I gave you one. I think I gave one to Wenzel too, so I might have one more downstairs.
You know what character
just to play Unimusha.
I hated in that game? Was the one that could like spin his vehicle backwards and like fire backwards. He was on like the hovercraft thing.
Oh, yeah. He
He
was
was-
like the scientist guy.
Yeah, I could not handle playing him. Like the controls with
He
like
had really wonky controls.
Yeah.
I never owned the game, and the
Because you
one
could steer
time,
backwards, so the turning was backwards as
yeah,
well.
yeah, I know. It was just
Yeah.
nuts. And like I felt like he was super overpowered if you can handle the controls, but I could not handle the
Yeah,
controls.
he was my jam.
so I never got Biker Mice from Mars.
I never had it either.
Yeah, the one
played
time that I played it was at somebody's house, and they told me to play the scientist guy,
Oh God.
Oh,
and I played
fucking
it
hard mode.
and was like, I'm good. I don't want this game. So like, I have nothing to say about it. Like, I know of like the
It's that kid's
the
fault.
nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%. All right. So let's continue with this, and let's get into our honorable mentions that we think could be obscure, that we just want to kind of mention or gloss over before we get to like the defining stuff. And honestly, in our top fives, there are some of those also obscure and
Crossover.
also defining games. So if
Yeah.
we want to just touch on them out of our top fives, that's fine. Like, I think Shaq Fu is like an honorable mention, but it's super obscure.
Right. Like a couple of my honorable mentions are Jurassic Park and Link to the Past.
Okay.
Like those.
Yeah,
are,
Link to the
and
Past is on
actually,
mine, too.
and
See, I
Donkey
think-
Kong Country.
I would say that Link to the Past is a defining game for the console.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll get there.
I mean, yeah, it could, yeah, but
Yeah.
we don't need it. I mean, there is going to be crossover. So, do we want to do like the round table again, or just kind of like head down our list and maybe just kind of like?
Just call off the ones that we haven't kind of discussed already that might be on your honorable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go on. One, I don't know if anybody else has played this. It's called Lock On. It was in a jet fighting where it's basically you're like looking through the cockpit of, actually I think it was like third person like jets, and they had like the F-16s, and you could unlock other ones because I know they had like UN Squadron was like maybe one of the other biggest like air battle ones, but I think that was still kind of like was that still like the side scroller or
Was
top-down thing?
Ace Combat the spiritual successor for that? Because I
I
remember
would say probably.
I remember there was a shout out. I remember seeing that the whole idea when you're playing Ace Combat and you lock on to somebody and someone says lock on is apparently like also what they say at the title screen of Lock On. I've heard
Yeah.
of the game.
Yeah.
So like I've always I remember reading somewhere that that's like kind of like the spiritual predecessor to Ace Combat.
Yeah. Because I'll never forget you can have like a single or twin engine type plane, and then you unlock like stronger ones, and you still had to like throw up there had like the radar so you can see where people are, and if they got behind you, you still had to throw a flare, and you could do like a full like back end and like end up behind the other person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. It was, I think, a little sophisticated for anything else that was out there, but that was another one that Steph's dad played.
And ahead of its time.
Yeah, and I watched him play that. I'm like, this is amazing. He's like, yeah, because I used to be because all I wanted to be was like a fighter pilot when I was that age. So I remember going to like Blue Angel shows and, seeing like, them kind of like perform and whatnot, and then becoming old enough and being told, oh, you wear glasses, you'll never be a fighter pilot. I'm like, fuck, okay, that's not going to work out so well. But still never took away that feeling of, oh, this is so cool. So as like as a Super Nintendo game, I feel like it did, I don't know, it kind of hit all the factors of what I was looking for. Not quite top 5, but something that I really did like. The only other one that I have that has not been mentioned already, because we already hit 3 of my other honorable mentions, is Battletoads Battle Maniacs. That game was, number 1, fucking difficult, but number 2, so much fucking fun. It went another side-scroller fighting game, and then I remember there were some stages where you were on like your Battletoad cart, and you'd had to like race and hit ramps and kind of move back and forth, so that way you didn't go into like lava or ooze or some other shit. But I remember I never owned that game, but I always remember when it was like the weekends and I was allowed to rent one, that like 1 out of 4 weekends I'm getting that every time before getting something new.
Cool.
I have a few honorable mentions here that I don't think are genre defining or console defining.
Right.
WWF Super WrestleMania.
Yes.
That game was just it's like one of the first wrestling games. It's just that there's a series now called Fire Pro Wrestling that is like a super detailed, in-depth, exact clone of it.
Really?
Yeah. So like you're still doing the ring is a diamond in front of you and you're moving kind of up and down the ring and doing that stuff. Like this gets in depth where you can like fully customize your character and your moveset and everything like that. But it's that game. It's like the punch, strong grapple, strong.
Yeah.
Like that game is just absolutely incredible. When we were looking down that list, I was just like, I saw it and I clicked on it and I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Paperboy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Paperboy had to be on here. Paperboy 2.
I think it was Paperboy 2.
Yeah.
Game is the tits.
Oh
Yeah,
god, that game was so much fun. Like
you fucking assholes carrying the couch.
dude, fuck him.
Yeah.
Throw a fucking paper at him. Like,
there's the
like,
guy who's trying to be like underneath of his car fixing it. You hit it with the paper and it
fucking
falls
jack.
down, and his fucking like arms and legs are flailing.
God.
See, the problem with that game is you're supposed to throw them in the mailboxes or the doors. But there's so many tempting things in the environment that you're like, oh, I want to see that animation.
Yeah, it's like, do you
Should've
want to
been
get a high
called
score
Paper Asshole.
or do you want to be like literally a menace to society? And I always wanted to be a menace to society. So like, it was so much more fun to just be like, okay, yeah.
The guy out watering his flowers.
Eat this window. Fucking smack this dude. Fucking drop a car on somebody. Fucking go off some ramps. Like hell yeah.
I never knew what all that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever made it like past like round 3.
No.
In that game.
Yeah, no.
Has anybody
I
out there?
would always get chased down by a dog.
Oh yeah, at the end, like the end ramp. I always remember. Now, I can see the screen now where it's just like the houses with the X on them, and like it was either like a circle or
paper.
Yeah, where it's just like that's what you're supposed to hit. I never knew what the fuck that meant. I was just in there to throw papers at shit.
Oh, that's right. Because after you fuck up a house,
They turn black.
they turn black.
Yeah.
And they don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And you eventually get fired.
Yeah.
With the spinning newspaper.
You're fired. And it's like them like picking you up by the fucking collar. Like,
You're
get out of here.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, awesome.
So, another one is The Simpsons Bart's Nightmare, which was platformer, a little less minigame centric than the virtual reality or Virtual Bart.
Virtual Bart.
Still a lot of fun. I think it's like an honorable mention because like that's pretty much the death of like the good Simpsons games was on this console.
Hit and Run was okay.
Hit and Run was okay, but I'm talking about the good games.
Okay, fair enough.
No, there's a cult following on the one that came out on PS2.
No, it's Hit and Run.
Was it Hit and Run?
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a huge cult following on that game.
I'm still waiting to get a big enough house so I can get the arcade game. Like the
Oh,
legit
God.
arcade
I've
game.
always
be
wanted to
amazing.
play that.
Oh,
I
you never got to
never
play-
Did.
Oh.
I saw it at like Oaks back in the day.
Yeah.
like the Oaks movie theater.
Oh, it's so fucking... All right, give it time.
I played it at Disneyland. Literally, the hotel that we stayed at in Disneyland, they had a little arcade in the bottom, and it had the Simpsons arcade game, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And my mom's like, wait, there's like Disneyland outside. I was like, but this though.
Disneyland.
Yeah. I forget where it was. It was either one of the bowling alleys or it may have been Pocket Change a long time ago, but one of them had the game, and I just remember every time we went, because, you know, my mom bowled a lot when I was a kid, and every single time we were at that place playing the arcade game.
All right. That's kind of console defining. So two more honorable mentions that I have here is Doom was originally released
yeah.
on Super Nintendo
Yep.
as well as PC. And that's like one of the first person shooters of all time, and I think it's like important to like have that on this list as you know, a console first person shooter.
Yep.
I think it's important to be an honorable
Oh,
mention.
I would say it is important to be mentioned there.
Not even close to the first person shooter though.
Not close to the first, but
on
not even
on
close.
console.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. On,
Yeah.
on console, I know it's not the first. I know it's not the first person shooter.
fuck yeah.
But I also think that it's not necessarily console defining, but Earthworm Jim.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that deserves an honorable
Fuck you,
mention.
Steve.
That was one of my favorite games on Super Nintendo.
It's a great game.
Weird. It
I
didn't
loved
make
it.
your top 5 list though.
Was? Hey, there's other
Was?
ones.
Was?
Easy, Joe. Easy, Joe.
You guys have any honorable
yeah.
mentions? you
Yeah,
wanna
go
throw
for
on
it.
this?
So the only one that I think is not console defining, well I'll say two. NBA Jam.
Yes. Oh, God. It played
Obvious reasons.
so much of that. Although I played a lot of that on Sega, but still, just
Yeah.
in the is it the shoes? He's on fire.
Yeah.
Boom chakalaka.
And Mario RPG.
See, that's a game I never played, and I know it's highly rated.
Yeah, I never played that one either.
Yeah.
That might be a good one to touch on for the podcast one time.
Maybe.
I don't know how long is that game.
I don't remember.
It can't be that long. It's on Super Nintendo.
Wait, was Paper Mario
how
on
long was fucking-
Super Nintendo also?
Earthbound?
Yes.
Earthbound was insanely long.
Yeah, it
for
was.
Okay.
Super Nintendo. And Final Fantasy 6 or 3.
Any.
Yeah. Jesus, that could be like an 80-hour game on Super Nintendo. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the only honorable mentions that I have that
Okay.
haven't really been touched on.
All right. Let me.
So one on your list, you better say though.
I'm going to start out with this one because I might want to talk about this one a little
I
bit.
like how Harry has it actually like on fucking paper.
We all have it on our phones because we're not.
Fucking old.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, so paper is just extinct.
yeah.
It's going extinct.
No,
Yes.
Harry, you're just a traditionalist. Bitch,
whatever.
make me a sandwich.
Save the trees.
Yeah. Anyone that cares about the planet is not using paper anymore.
This is one I want to talk about, and I'm probably going to pitch for the show at some point. Lester the Unlikely. Love it.
No idea.
It is very weird. So the premise is this nerd falls asleep on a crate. He gets picked up, put on a ship, and then dropped off on an island.
Okay.
That's very
it's
unlikely.
This nerdy guy trying to escape an island with like bats and acid and ghosts and tribal men.
Who's running this island?
The tribalmen, apparently.
Yeah,
Something.
really.
It is nuts, and it is very frustrating because your weapons are this like wimpy kick that he does. He forcefully runs away screaming from enemies that you can't even control.
Okay.
And he throws rocks or pebbles that he picks up off of the ground that you have to pick up first, and then he goes like, eh.
This sounds incredibly frustrating.
Oh yeah, it is incredibly frustrating.
I want to
And
play it.
everything wants to murder you very quickly.
Yeah.
And then when you do die, he just goes, eh, and he falls onto the ground, curled up in like fetal position. This one just sticks out in my head. We don't really need to talk about it, but We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. I remember sinking a lot of hours into that
Oh my
one.
god.
Do you remember that?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. I haven't thought of that series in a long fucking time.
Man, how did you guys not mention some of these? All right, so
We didn't have 100.
yeah, I
NES
know. Sorry, but you basically had all my games. I bring the box over to your house all the time. I throw them in like this, like fucking
literally
big
had,
ass
like-
bag, tie it around the handlebars of my bike, fucking bike up this huge ass hill
uphill the entire way.
the entire way. So I know NHL '94 was the big game, like big hockey game for Super Nintendo. I liked NHL '95.
Oh, there
That
you go.
was
Okay.
my shit.
We pulled so many goalies in that game.
Loved it.
So good.
that was the first game, and I've done it every single hockey game that I've bought ever since. I buy one like every 5 or 6 years. But you delete an entire team, and then you put all your friends on the
Yes.
team. It is the best
Absolutely.
way.
I remember you did that. I forget if that was that PS2? That like you were all in.
We were
Yeah.
in 2001.
Okay, yeah.
That was so I had NHL 95,
It's not
99, 2003, 2008, 2012.
It was probably 2003.
It was probably 2000.
probably 2003,
Yeah.
something like that. I just,
It's weird because my team keeps getting smaller.
I mean, you only need 5 at least.
Yeah, for real.
how am I down to 4 people on my
Yeah,
team?
nobody gets a rest anymore.
You keep playing.
It's just your friends that are reincarnated Eric Lindros.
Yeah, it's all my friends and the Legion of Doom. Here we go.
And John Leclerc.
Yeah.
Now this one I am surprised nobody mentioned in this room. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I don't think I ever played the game.
I had that one.
You didn't,
Yeah. But it just didn't stand out compared to the other ones.
So you get through the early levels where you're like fighting as like one of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And then the later levels you get
You
in,
Mighty
like,
Morphin.
Oh yeah, you get in the Megazord.
Oh yeah. You're fighting Zord.
I didn't put it on my list because of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like just because they're essentially the same type of game, like the side scroller type of game, and it just kind of beat it out for me. There, Power Rangers was going to be on actually one of my mentions for the console defining ones.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, were we allowed to do more than 5 honorable mentions?
I just did 5.
Oh, okay.
I do want to give 3 quick shout outs though, but we're not going to talk about them at all. I
Okay.
just got to make sure they get mentioned
no,
somewhere in this episode.
do it. I was just wondering. 'Cause
Did any of you guys play Populous?
No.
no.
That was a great game. So basically,
I thought we weren't going to talk about him.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Fucking with you. Go for it.
Populous.
What genre is it? Just what is it? It's an RTS.
Simulator
Is it an
SimCity?
RTS like SimCity?
is the red guys and the blue guys, and you're fighting a war, but you're controlling the landscape to grow their populations.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. And then 3 quick shout outs: The Adventures of Dr. Franken, Disney's Aladdin, and Q*bert 3.
It's, this whole time I was sitting here thinking about it, it's like Aladdin should have been on here somewhere. Out of the other, I know The Lion King is like
Fuck that
your
game.
guys'
Fuck
favorite
you.
game. But at the same, but
Fuck you, Steve.
honestly, if it would have been Aladdin, you probably would have had a lot more better time. That was an
100%.
awesome. I would think because if we were going to do like it's kind of crossover mention and defining Disney defining Aladdin is like hands down.
I still remember one of the passwords. Genie Jafar Aladdin Abu gets you to the level when you first meet the genie.
There you go.
Boom. Password.
You're welcome.
Yeah, expert advice on this show.
You don't need to go to GameFAQs anymore.
Oh shit!
I still remember a passcode from Rocco's Modern Life. Melba.
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 Oh, God.
Melba.
You want some good Melba French toast? Go to Nudies.
Nudies over in Phoenixville? Yeah.
Actually, they have one Conshohocken now.
Oh, do they? Okay.
So moving on.
Shut up.
Do we want to talk about like what we thought really defined the console?
I
have one game that hasn't been mentioned already.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I have two, but one was specifically in someone's list, but
Why don't we just do one at a time? Go down your whole list from 5 to 1. Because even if it was mentioned,
So
just
here's the
reiterate,
thing.
like, what do you think is the definition?
I don't think we made 5 separate lists. Or 3 separate lists.
Yeah, I didn't
you
really.
didn't?
No,
okay.
I made a giant list and picked my top 5 out of that giant list, and then I was like, okay, some of these are... I made a list of like 15,
Okay.
20 games.
okay. Well, Harry, I did actually make like 3 lists, but my
job,
known,
Steve.
my known for is literally I have 2 because other things were mentioned, and I think there's some crossover.
Got it.
Still one known for Super Mario World. That changed platformers right there.
Yeah.
That was the new generation of what was to be expected from a platformer.
Question about that. When
Sure.
you guys mentioned Super Mario World, are you referring to like Mario All-Stars?
No.
No.
It was just
the
Super
pack-in that came with
I didn't
Super
have
Nintendo.
a pack-in.
Okay, so
Did you get a second hand?
No, they didn't have them at launch at Pack-In.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah. So Super Mario World. So I know it's going to sound kind of. Think Super Mario Brothers like is what is for Nintendo.
Super Mario Brothers 3 on steroids.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's Super Mario World for Super Nintendo. So it was still like different levels, like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, but it was Super Nintendo
It was
graphics. Like
better than
enhanced.
Super Mario 3?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God, I
Why?
missed out.
You
Dude,
still
wait,
haven't.
you've never
Not too
played
late.
it?
No.
Oh wow. Oh.
Well, dude,
okay.
you...
I thought I had all of them because I had All-Stars. I was like, look
No,
at this.
no,
It
no.
has 1, 2, 3, and the
So-
And the All-Stars
Lost Worlds.
Lost Worlds.
Yeah, no.
I have the whole package.
Lost Worlds, I think, isn't that off of Super Mario World?
I don't think so.
I don't
think
believe
it's a
so, no.
spin-off of 3.
Yeah.
Is it a spin-off of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do yourself a favor, Super Mario World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a console-defining game.
Yeah.
I think All Stars deserves an honorable mention, though. It's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the first
It's-
compilation games
yeah,
where
yeah.
it pulls a bunch of.
One of my console-defining ones.
It was on my console defining.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. All right.
That was one where I already had 1, 2, and 3 for Nintendo, so we did still end up getting it for like the extra stuff, because Dad liked playing that too.
Sure.
But yeah, Super Mario World, and it was said once, but I think in also defining what Star Fox.
Yes.
That had to be, and down to just like that's literally the only 2 for known for I have on my list that I really think, aside from the other stuff we've actually talked about. It was hard to see what the fuck was going on sometimes, but once you could like narrow that down and not have a seizure in the middle of it, it was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't like the original Star Fox. It wasn't until Star Fox 64 that I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I did play a good bit of the original, but once my buddy Dan, who had the 64, and that was like my intro to 64 or anything, that was when it was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, this is a lot fucking better. It's not just like crazy lines intersecting with each other.
Yeah, Star Fox on the Super Nintendo was actually rendered in 3D in a 2D space.
Yep.
So they did all of the calculations so that like everything worked properly.
Yeah.
And they actually, I forget if it was an on cartridge chip, the Super FX, that it was like a kind of like an add-in booster chip for the Super Nintendo in order to be able to do it.
I think that was in the cartridge itself. Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
The only other one that hasn't been mentioned on my console defining was Mario Paint.
Oh,
That's
fuck!
one of my defining.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck! Yes, the music
ri-
creator.
Yeah, and it came with the pad.
Yeah, it came with the
You could
mouse
use
pad and the mouse.
Yeah.
Oh
that-
my god!
yeah,
How did I
that-
forget about that?
Do you remember the hidden game with the fly swatter?
Yes.
Yes.
Whack.
Do you know what that game actually eventually turned into? Was all of the WarioWare games.
Oh, really?
A lot of those weird, obscure Mario Paint things turned into WarioWare eventually.
Oh, I remember sitting with my buddy John, and he had like the whole pad and everything, and we would just sit there and come up with like the weirdest fucking songs, and a tenth of them sounded pretty damn good, and that was
You're being generous, Steve.
that. A fifth of them, or no, 5% of them sounded pretty good, at least to us. Holy fuck! How did I forget about that game? That was so awesome.
We bought that game with Kool-Aid points.
Whoa,
Nice.
there you go.
Nice.
Bitch, I got
my
sugary
my
drink.
kidneys have been thanking me ever since.
It's all right. You can get 0 sugar now. Drink a gallon of that shit.
100%.
100%.
Oh man.
All right. Is that
Yeah,
what
that
you
was
had?
the only thing I had left to mention.
Okay.
Fuck.
I
Oh,
have-
I want that now.
I have. Did someone mention Earthbound?
We mentioned it when we were talking about how long a game could be on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in passing only.
I'll just. I'm gonna keep it actually. All right. I have 4 games still to talk about.
All right.
Super Bomberman.
Fuck yes.
I think that is a console-defining game.
Yes.
Because that was like one of the if you had like the connector
multi-tap?
thing, the multi-tap,
Yeah, the multi-tap
you could-
adapter.
You could play 4 players. Like I thought that was like a really awesome thing. Like not every game you could do that with.
right.
Is Bomberman a character on Super Smash yet?
He should be,
I don't think he is.
but no.
That seems like a pretty obvious omission.
Yeah,
Think so?
Yeah.
especially since they're doing like 7 Fire Emblem characters and
Yeah.
Joker from Persona. And
The fucking Wii Fit character.
Petition starts today. Bomberman, Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Wii Fit character.
I
thought
don't
was
I don't
fucking-
know how you guys will feel about this, but I think Mortal Kombat.
Yep, that's on my top 5 for
Yeah.
defining.
Yeah.
The first one. Like
yes,
everybody
yes.
fucking.
the first one.
I will say everybody was always like, "Oh no, it's fucking Mortal Kombat 3 or Mortal Kombat 2." Like nobody ever spoke about Mortal Kombat 1, but I thought like that was the shit.
So here's
Live
the thing, and
video.
and this is why this is why for me, Mortal Kombat beats out Street Fighter 2 because I don't think Street Fighter is defining for this console because of how popular and how long-standing Street Fighter was in arcades. Mortal Kombat, I believe there was a month difference between it being in an arcade and then right onto the home console. I believe that is like the defining fighting game for at-home consoles. I've always felt that way.
Not to mention, that was the first one that really kicked it up a notch. That's the first one that really had like the extra gore, like really.
I don't think the first one did. I'm pretty sure it was all dirt. Like
Sweat.
Oh.
It was sweat. It was blue sweat.
no, it
set-
was like brown. I don't think they added blood or all that until
They
the
still
second-
had fatalities where you were killing
Oh, I don't know.
people.
I don't know.
Yeah, the
I
fatalities
didn't
were in
know
it,
all
but like punching in blood, that was only on the Genesis.
Yeah.
When you punched in the Super Nintendo, yeah, it's like the biggest controversy and difference between the two.
Because I had it for Genesis. I didn't have it for.
It might have
Super
been dirt or
Nintendo.
dust. You're right. It was something. It, was,
It's
it wasn't blood.
Early
That's the
graphics.
important.
You know what? It
Right.
could have been anything.
But
Honestly,
still, at
if you
the same
think about it.
at the same time, I'll take that where it's like this is someone that looks like a very human character that in the end you can rip their spine out of their back or like uppercut their head off and whatnot, which may have been the Genesis either way. But I mean, just to be that level of brutal as a fighting game, that really kind of kicked it up.
And Mortal Kombat's the reason that we have the ESRB
Yeah.
ratings. it spawned this whole idea that you
Thanks,
can have
Tipper Gore.
that you can have this like dark game with like violence and stuff, and it proved that video games are not just for kids.
Yeah.
Do you remember stumbling across the hidden fight with Reptile in Mortal Kombat 1?
Yeah.
that was awesome.
And he's just
It was fun, guys.
yeah, it's good time.
Good times.
Dusty.
I don't think you could have unlocked them though, right? Like
No,
that was,
not in 1.
Was that just like a teaser for Mortal Kombat 2,
Yeah.
more or less?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to give a shout out to I just generally all of the Final Fantasy games that were on this system. I can't pick a favorite one. I think 3 is an amazing one.
I think that's the only one that released in the U.S.
No, 2 was on it as well, I believe.
I think 2 was Japanese and it released with Anthology as
Okay.
Final Fantasy 5.
Sorry. Either way, I think the Final Fantasy and Earthbound both deserve mention here as like being like defining RPGs for the console. And then my last one that I have here is Wolfenstein 3D, which is the first-person shooter.
Just to correct my...
What do you think it is?
Blake Stone.
What is Blake Stone?
Exactly.
Apparently, Blake Stone is the first
Yeah.
first-person shooter.
It was a PC, but yeah.
All right,
Blake
Clark's
Stone.
got to look it up. Do
Yeah,
you have,
I have to look. Like
do you have more of the list before you get...
that's it. That's
Oh, okay.
I'll just ramble through my list real quick.
Yeah, go for
Because
it.
actually all of them were talked about except for one. So my defining console games I thought were Mario Paint, Super Mario All-Stars, although you basically corrected me and said it's Super Mario World instead. I'll take that. Donkey Kong Country, Mortal Kombat, and the one we didn't talk about is Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yes. Holy
I'm pretty sure
fuck.
that was a launch title with Super Nintendo. I could be wrong on that one.
Or
But
shortly after.
yeah, that was actually the first game I booted up on the Super Nintendo.
Blake Stone was released in 1993. Wolfenstein 3D was released in 1992.
Oh, okay.
But super cool. That game was like
That used to be.
floating
Do you
around
remember?
in my brain.
You remember Nick Arcade?
Yeah,
That was like one of the competitive games
It
that
was.
like,
Yes,
was
it
on that
was.
show all the
I
time.
love that.
Can
one.
we just talk about Nick Arcade for a second? To
Why don't
close
we just
this out?
dedicate an episode on Nick Arcade?
Well, they had
I have
like
no idea what you're talking
Acrobat.
about.
what?
Dude, what?
What the fuck?
Okay, so Early's Nickelodeon. So Nick Arcade, it was a competition show where there were two teams of two like
The red and yellow team.
red and yellow team, and usually it was one boy, one girl per team.
Of course.
And there would be a question portion that they'd have to answer trivia, and then they could go play a game to get like extra points. And they had challenges. They basically had you have to score 50,000 points in 3 minutes before you can or such and such gets like the extra team. And at the very end, they basically played a giant green screen VR game where there was like
Oh, they were so terrible.
there was like
So
the,
they're all like
the genie, like they were on a carpet and shit would be flying at them, and
They have to like jump over it and stuff.
they'd
Yeah.
have to jump up, and you're just watching it on the screen of them going of like Moldar, the sorcerer, or some shit. I remember waking up at fucking 6:30 in the morning to watch Nick Arcade before school. It was YouTube it.
it
when
was
you
the
get
alpha
chance.
version of Twitch.
Yeah, no, it really was. But they would have Super Ghouls and Ghosts. They would have Acrobat. I think there was like
Act Razor.
ActRaiser. But they would have like
Oh, you know what some of the green screen games were? The monkeys throwing coconuts down them, and they had to jump and get bananas or something like that.
they had it. Yeah,
Stupid.
The difference games that they played were Metroids, Laser Surgeon, Brainstorm, Battle of the Bands, Star Defenders, Post Haste, Jet Jocks, Crater Rangers. Dude, you
Okay.
need to watch
Got it.
Nick Arcade. There's 84 episodes of it.
Oh God, no.
Jesus.
2 seasons, 84 episodes.
They were pretty successful then. Get 2 seasons of that shit.
When are we doing Nickelodeon throwback? I want to talk about Legends of the Hidden Temple and maybe some Guts.
Next
Do you
year.
have guts?
So, do we want to end it there? Like, is there anything else anyone wants to say about the console itself? Yes.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My life started with that with the Nintendo, and you still have to do that. At least. Oh, you know what a fucking awesome thing?
You didn't have the little tool?
No.
Oh, we had the tool.
I had a mouth,
It
Joe.
was fucking amazing. The tool was the tits.
There was the adapter for the Super Nintendo where you could play Game Boy games on it, and they was an
Oh, Super
yeah.
Game Boy.
Super
That's
Game
it,
Boy.
yeah.
I got that shit.
That was fucking amazing because I had
was
a Game
such a
Boy.
cool idea.
The Game Boy for me was like the first like my console because like I remember sidetrack. I had 3 sisters. All 4 of us got our own Game Boys on the same Christmas.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh God
it was
bless
a
your
fucking
parents.
huge deal.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
Now it's like it either costs us a lot of
That's
money or they're
amazing,
gonna
though. Yeah.
fucking fight all the time. Spend the goddamn money. Just
Were they just the original? Did everyone get the original Game Boy, or were
yeah,
they,
yeah.
like, the
yeah.
colors?
No,
or
color
the,
wasn't out yet.
Or I meant like they had the Game Boys that were like different colors.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
no. That
or the
nothing-
original
the
ones.
old
Those
that
weren't
were
out.
gray.
It was the gray brick.
The
That was the only
gray-
thing
Oh, that's
out
amazing.
at the time. Yeah.
That's amazing.
and then if you wanted to be able to play it in the dark, you had to get like the giant
Oh
fucking
yeah,
rig to
little
put it.
fucking light that shined on the screen.
Oh, I
and a
had that.
magnifier.
Yeah.
Like because you couldn't get it. You couldn't get just the light. It was the light and the magnifier because all the off-brand ones suck.
yeah,
Like
Yeah. I remember my mom getting me the light, the magnifier, and it had like little speakers on it so you can plug it in.
It just got ridiculous.
Oh, it
real
did.
quick.
It was so
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
heavy.
so fucking kludgy.
It's like I'm an 8-year-old kid trying to play this thing, and it's like, oh, let me. I don't have the wrist strength
got
for this
the
yet.
buttons that go over the buttons to make the buttons bigger.
Oh, the fucking the Pelican adapter. Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
And you
shit.
always had to carry around extra batteries because they could just die at any minute,
Oh, fuck
and there was
yeah.
no way to really tell.
Oh, no.
Took 4.
Yeah.
And you're like,
man.
oh god, this is like gonna cost me $10.
Oh man.
That's stupid. All right, we're doing a Game Boy episode at some
Oh
point.
hell yeah, we're doing a Game Boy.
Rehash
episode.
that
Wait a
shit.
minute. Wait a minute. Did you have or did you know anybody that had the Super Scope?
The gun? No.
The giant fucking
No.
gun thing?
For Game Boy?
No, for
Okay,
Super
okay.
Nintendo.
For Super Nintendo.
Just wanted to clarify.
Okay, we're looping back into the episode now.
What? There was a gun for Game Boy. What the
No.
fuck happened?
No, I just remember seeing it advertised, and I never had it, nor did I know anybody that had enough money in their family to get it. But I just remember this.
Taking a mortgage for this thing?
Yeah, it's like a fucking bazooka for the Super Nintendo. Have you ever? Do you know what I'm talking
You had
about?
to have, you had to have 2 Blockbuster memberships to rent one. Ain't no family got time for that.
Oh, God.
All right,
I want to
here you
look
go.
up ads with kids having fun with this thing.
Specifically having fun.
Yeah.
I want to find ads with kids not having fun with this thing.
There you go. That's the Super Scope.
God damn
It's
it.
literally like a little fucking bazooka thing for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just it's insane.
What games did that work with, though?
Yeah, right?
Super Scope 6.
Super Duck Hunt? No.
Whack, whack, whack.
Just kills
That
everything.
may
you
have
bought-
worked with Terminator 2.
If you bought the Super
may
Scope, you
have
could actually
all.
kill the dog. It's the only way to do it.
What is it?
It's the only way to beat the boss of Duck Hunt. It's the Super Scope. You kill the dog.
Alien versus Predator. That was a good Super Nintendo game.
I don't remember that.
That was a cool game.
Oh, man.
And yeah, the Terminator 2. I remember that also. Oh, God.
That was better in the arcade, though, with the fucking gun.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
This
yeah.
gun, it would rattle the fuck out of you. You'd hold on to this thing with both hands, and the gun is just like...
Here to go, little Billy. You want to feel like Parkinson's? I'm Michael J. Fox.
That's weird because he always yells that when he goes into a fit.
Michael J. Fox. I'm Michael J. Fox.
I was not bringing Arnold into this whatsoever.
But it's Terminator 2.
No, I was talking about Michael
knew it
J.
was
Fox
naturally coming
just
in.
yelling his name when he's.
Yeah.
Yeah, he yells his own name.
Yeah.
I'm Michael J. Fox. Ah.
Like
Michael
me
J.
during
Fox.
sex.
Oh,
Matt.
I didn't know Clark was a Pokemon. Clark. Oh, fuck. Hey, guys. This is the beginning of an awesome series. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
Nostalgia Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, get ready for this. We're gonna ride this until we get to.
We're gonna
Fucking ride the wheels
raw.
off
We're gonna
this
ride
bitch.
it
until
yeah,
it's bleeding and it's begging
We're out
for
of
no
ideas.
more.
So, no.
And
No, this is-
when you guys, when all of you listen to this, let us know what your favorite games are. What do you feel like we
Absolutely.
missed? You know?
And then we'll block you.
Yeah. And then we'll shut you down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us, and tune in 2 weeks for Call of Cthulhu
Yo.
for our
Yeah.
100th review.
Yeah. Good
Episode.
Good talking.
Stay sexy.
Stay lovely.
I love you guys.
Stay safe.
We're live!
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on social media and all streaming platforms at Superfun Podcast for more episodes. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us and consider becoming a Patreon member for more exclusive content.